And welcome back to the Buckle Up Podcast, live from actually Chelmsford, England, right now. We have a lovely guest on here today. It's either, I believe her name is Heather, but it's coming up Leanne Johnson. But Heather is going to be on here. I happened to meet Heather in one of my acting showcases that I've been doing here. So she was an absolute pleasure. And she said that she would like to come on to the show. We have 13.6 million viewers and listeners in 44 countries and 433 cities around the world. So I'm gonna go ahead and let Heather in. Or Leanne, let's see here. I'll ask her. I thought her name was Heather, but maybe it's Leanne.
Okay, we'll find out.
Okay. Actually, that is someone. Oh, Heather.
Hey, Brandon.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing really well. I have my mom. Okay. I have my mom on here. She's using her headshot photo.
Mama Rush, you are one beautiful woman.
Oh, thank you so much. Good morning, Heather. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? I'm so sorry. It says that I'm on my work one, which is for my boss's name. Do you mind if I quickly try and figure out how to get it onto my name?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I can pause it. I'll pause it real quick.
Thank you.
Heather, so welcome back to the Buckle Up Podcast universe as our first time guest from England, right?
Yes.
That's exciting. What part of England are you in?
I'm in Essex, if you know.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, my mom is on here. She's live from back in America.
And you said good morning. What time is it for you, Mama Rush?
Oh, it is almost 9 o'clock, and I didn't go to bed until 5 o'clock this morning. And so I thought you were coming on earlier. And so I'm around here waiting, and Brand said, "Oh, no, Mom, it's not until in the afternoon, our time." I said, "Well, no problem with that." But anyway, we're so happy to have you on the Buckle Up Podcast universe, and this is great. So we're going to let you get started and tell us about yourself.
Yeah, Heather. It's Heather, this is all about you. Let's hear about your life, what you do. How I happened to meet you at an acting showcase, which you were absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you so much. I thought you were incredible. You made us all absolutely die laughing. It was hilarious to see.
Well, that's good. I know that you guys are so good. You guys are good at drama and comedy, but I figured I'd just try and bring some comedy to it if I could.
Yeah, totally. I'd love to do a comedy scene as well. We should try and do one together at some point.
That would be awesome. I would absolutely love that.
Let's make it happen. We'll make it happen.
Absolutely. Heather, so tell us about your life. Tell us about how you got into acting, what you do now. We'll hit it off.
Thank you. Well, I mean, I'm kind of the cliche, always wanted to be an actor, did it my whole life. And I was involved in amateur theatre here in Chelmsford.
Really?
Which is where I live in Essex. And I actually was nominated for Best Actor in an independent play or production in the Panic Awards, which is like the Essex Live Events Awards. And that I came runner-up, and that just kind of was a real push to be like, I'm good at this. I should be doing this. And it brings me so much joy. And you know, when people say, if there was nothing holding you back, if you knew you wouldn't fail, what would you do?
Yeah.
And that's always been acting for me. So yeah, trying to do more of that in my life. I absolutely adore. So what I do is my day job is I teach LAMDA and drama. So LAMDA is actually a teaching body here in England, London Academy of Music and Dramatic Arts. And you can get qualifications in acting and public speaking. So I tutor children in getting their acting and public speaking qualifications, which is fantastic. And it's kind of like a tool that I use really to help them gain more confidence in themselves and their voices, which is what I'm really passionate about. I got married this year. That's another big thing in my life.
Oh, congratulations to that. Well, yeah, tell us about that too. And I'm gonna get back to the teacher thing but go ahead and tell us.
Sure. So yeah, I married he's now my husband, but we started dating when we were just 15. His name's Nathan.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And you guys were together for, I guess, the whole time, huh?
Yeah, we haven't broken up. There was one time where he was at uni and I wasn't, and be vulnerable, be honest. I had like a little blip where I said, maybe we should take a break. Like maybe we should consider not being together. And he said no. So there was that.
Yeah.
And he just said, look, I'm not willing to take a break. You either you want to be with me or you don't. So let's talk about that. And I said, well, I don't want to leave you. And then that never came up again, really. And I'm so glad he said no. Yeah, he wanted me, so he kept me.
Hey, I love that. I love that he basically like fought for you. He's like, hey, you know, if I love you, I know that you're my person. And for him to make those efforts, that's really commendable because, you know, sometimes people go their separate ways. But I mean, that's a true love story for him to be like, hey, like, look, I really want to at least fight for us and see if we can
Yeah,
keep
thank you.
going.
And it was exactly what I needed as well, you know, for him to say, and he didn't try to, you know, he was very much respectful. He said, if you want to end this, that's up to you. But he said he didn't want to take a break. He said, we're either together or we're not. And
Yeah.
really, I think that's a really traditional way of looking at relationships. And it worked for us. And yeah, got married this year.
Oh man, well, I'm happy to hear that, and that's big congratulations. I'm happy for you too.
Thanks.
So you mentioned that you like to. We hit a couple things here, but you said you like your teaching. You're helping children find their voices. What made you want to kind of go into that, and what's your passion kind of behind that?
Thank you so much for asking. So, I mean, I kind of fell into it. The woman who runs the drama center, the company I started working for, she
Mhm.
saw me in a play and she thought I was great. And she reached out asking if I wanted to be involved at all in teaching. And I said, yes, I'd love to, because I've always loved children and I've
Yeah.
always had a really natural, easy way with children. I've not come across an age group yet that I haven't immediately clicked with. So I did it and I loved it. And it's just kind of snowballed from there over the
Okay.
years. I've just kept going. And I don't feel much more joy than when I see a child's confidence like start to blossom. Like when it was just the other day, actually, I had a young boy new to my class. His name was
Mhm.
Jarin. Oh, I hope I'm allowed to say that.
Oh,
I'm sure I
okay.
am.
She should be. Yeah. What? Yeah.
He was so shy, like crying, holding on to mum, didn't want to come in. And by the end of the class, I had him, you know, performing for everybody and absolutely loving it. And I said to him, I said, I'm so proud of you for getting through this whole hour. Like you didn't go. I'm so proud. And he just like pushed his head into me. And I was like,
Oh,
oh, it was so sweet. And yeah, that's that. And being on stage, that's what sparks my joy. So yeah, I don't want to live a life where I'm not doing things that make me happy, you know?
yeah. Absolutely. I think that's great. First off, I love how you helped that kid find his voice, kind of, where he was, leaving your parents could always be hard. Heck, even I'm homesick and I'm not visiting my mom right now. But I think that's amazing, and he's gonna remember that. That's gonna be like a core memory for him.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll see him
another,
next week.
what's that?
I said, I'll see him next week. He's
Oh,
signed
good.
up.
I bet you'll be excited this time. You're gonna have to give us an update on how he's doing, some
Oh,
progress
I
report for
totally
him.
will. Yeah, I will.
With you saying that you were on stage, how do you? So I gotta admit to you, I am not a stage person. I commend stage actors, actresses, and actors. How do you like? Even I'll admit it. Even like when I was doing the showcase, I had those nerves at first. Like you always have those nerves. What is that like for you on stage? Like, how do you memorize your dialogue? How do you perform? And do you sing too?
I do have a background in singing. Singing isn't something that I do professionally.
Okay.
I did musical theatre growing up. Here in Essex, it almost felt as though if you wanted to be a performer, you had to do musical theatre. There was
Okay.
no just straight acting. So it took me a while to find that that was where my real passion lied. But I did do singing in the
Okay.
meantime as I was getting there. In terms of learning dialogue, I find that with a play, as opposed to a script for a TV show,
Hmm.
you have no choice but to learn the entirety of the ins and outs. With a TV show, you can learn your little chunk and you
Yeah.
can choose to learn the rest if you want to, or you can choose to just learn your chunk. Whereas with a play, you have to know everything. So I
Yeah.
kind of feel like it just comes with reading the play, learning the lines. Don't get me wrong, it takes effort as well.
Yeah.
Repetition is key, you know.
Seriously.
My poor husband, he's played 100 parts here on the sofa where I make him redo it over and over again. Um, but yeah, being on stage, I do get really nervous, big time. But a great tip that I learned, I did a year of training at the Identity School of Acting,
Okay.
and a great tip that I learned there was nervousness and excitement are the same chemical reaction in your body.
Ooh.
So if you can convince yourself that your nerves are excitement, you can channel that and you can harness that and you can walk out on that stage being like, I'm excited to be here rather than I'm nervous.
Ah.
Affirmations as well. Oh, I would say that to anyone.
Hmm.
Affirmations, and it's fantastic that it's becoming so much more widespread as something
Yeah.
that people just do in their day-to-day lives. But yeah, I will stand there backstage and I will lie to myself. I'll stand there and say, I am an Oscar-winning actor. I
Hey.
have a Tony Award.
Yeah.
And that's it. It works. It really does.
That's I wish I would have had you earlier, like as a friend earlier in my lifetime to tell me that advice, because I can't tell you how many times, like, well, when I'm on stage, like, well, when I'm on television sets, I don't get nervous there, but like this is my first time performing back on stage, like what we're doing at the showcases and stuff or the workshops. that's my first time getting back up in front of people in that kind of environment, and then that does bring the nerves back. But it is kind of like an exciting energy. But it's kind of like I used to play American football. Once you get that, I had nerves then, but once you get that first hit in you, like you get hit or you hit someone, that kind of lets you get ready. You're in the game at that point. So kind of like when you start that first line, and as long as you don't mess up that first line or whatever, or the first couple. Yeah.
For me, it's the audience reaction. Like you say, that first hit, if it's a comedy, the minute I get a laugh, I'm like, okay, I know what I'm doing. Or if I get like a gasp, or I know, okay, I've got what I want.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So with you coming up from a theater background, that's correct, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so. Just amateur, but yeah.
I mean, it's you all are so, I say, you were so talented seeing you perform the other day. I didn't tell my mom this, but I felt like I was watching a British TV show. Like I was in Game of Thrones.
That to me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That really, Mama Rush, I came back from performing, and Brandon was there sat next to me, and he had his hand outstretched, and I shook his hand, and he said, that was just like a BBC drama. And I was like,
oh, Brandon, I bet that was exciting for you.
Yes, ma'am. And I've just been learning, because I've been doing I did a lot of those workshops since being here, and I've just been learning from you guys. And I love I kind of notice a difference here in London, where it's a big community. Everybody's really positive and supportive of one another, which I think is amazing, because I feel like it can be a lot of competition in the United States.
I was going to ask, I'd love to hear, like, because I've not got any experience of acting over there. What's it like?
Oh, really? Oh, now the on-set part's great. Like, all being on set, that's not so much the competition.
I've seen your credits. It's so exciting to be talking, sorry, please carry on.
Oh, no, you're good.
All right, this is great.
No, so set-wise, like being on set, it's like, that's kind of where the relief kind of goes, because everybody's working on the same thing. Like, everyone's there. Like, you realize that you've had to go through all these steps to get to the position you are now to be on set. So it's peaceful then, but like auditioning is, especially when auditions used to be in person, I can't tell you like that. It was literally like cutthroat. It felt like cutthroat at times, where people didn't want you to succeed, or they try to sabotage you, where
sabotage you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I've had people.
I'd love to. Yeah. Tell me about that.
So I remember being at one of the studios, and I was going for an audition. Me and this guy, he was just standing up in front of me and like trying to like psychologically get in my head. I'm like, man, it's
what an absolute. Oh, I can't. I'd like to swear, but I won't.
Yeah. No, you're good. It's just, and then I would feel that a lot, but it's just kind of like, why are you trying to sabotage me instead of focusing on what you need to do, instead of worrying about me? But I dealt with that all the time. And then people just not supportive, or people not happy when you win, where here in London. What's that?
How do you deal with that? How do you get over it?
Honestly, I think for me, it's knowing that I want to help people. I want to help provide for my family. And I just have the sports mentality, like, hey, I'm here to do a job. I'm going to go in and do the best job that I can, no matter what. I always say, clear eyes, full hearts can't lose. Before everything. And I even did that before my showcase, like the workshops we were doing, just because it's just let me know that as long as I give it my all, don't worry about, as long as I give my all and put in the effort, I don't worry about the outcome. As long as you give it your best, and I'm not beating myself up, not calling my mom crying like, Mom, I messed up big time.
That's right.
Because I remember like when I first did a role on the movie, I was nervous. I was calling my mom every single 5 seconds. My first day on set, a movie called Green Hornet years ago. But my mom was very encouraging me. But now I'm just kind of like that, where I just, I know that I give it my all, and I just try not to mess up. And I do the lines 1,000 times in my head.
That sounds good. Well, Heather, I want to ask a couple of questions here, probably a few questions, if you don't mind. I was just thinking, as a kid, tell me about you as a child. Did you get up and perform for your family at during different holidays, or did you always know? Did your parents always know? Tell us a little bit about you as a kid growing up, and you knew you wanted to go in the direction that you have gone. So tell me what your parents saw in you and what you saw in yourself as a child.
I would describe my childhood self as confident to a fault. I didn't think I could do anything wrong, and I loved performing. If there's this hilarious video of, I've got a younger brother who's the complete opposite of me in that respect. And he's like at the top of the stairs, and my dad's trying to get him to sing like a Christmas carol, and he's just staring at the camera, terrified. And then I just appear going, Rudolph the Red-Nosed, sticking myself in front of him. And it's such a funny video, but it's me to a T. And yeah, I did kind of get picked on for that throughout school, because like when there was talent competitions, I'd be up there reading poetry, and it was just kids kind of, didn't know what to make of that, I guess. But it's exactly what you were saying, Brandon. I now know as an adult that my authentic self is exactly who I'm meant to be. And that involves, I'm not afraid to get in front of people or a camera. And you do get nerves, of course you do, but as long as I still have my childhood mentality sometimes of, nah, I've got this. I know what I'm doing.
Oh, that's such a great gift that you have. And I know your parents are very proud of you. Do you still at home, let's say during Christmas, do you get up and you entertain with a group of people for home parties or that kind of social connection?
That's so amazing that you've asked me that, Mama Rush. So my grandma, who passed away a few years ago, she every year would read the Christmas poem, we called it. She used to perform spoken word poetry when she was my age. And it was something that she and I had like a real connection over, poetry growing up. And before she passed away, she made it known that she wanted me to take over that tradition. And so every single year, and she would dedicate it to a member of the family. So if a member of the family has had like something amazing happen that year, or had a particularly difficult year, I'll dedicate a poem to them and I'll perform that. And it's still fresh because we only lost her a few years ago, but to us, that's always a really poignant moment. So yeah, it's less of a Rudolph moment, but it is definitely a performance each year.
What a wonderful, wonderful thing she's instilled in you, and that keeping her memory alive.
Oh yeah.
During holiday is always a wonderful thing. And I think that's the gift that God has given us, and the gift we continue to give our families, sharing stories and like you said, poetry with your family members. The one thing I wanted to ask you about your students, how do you keep kids motivated? And you talked about this little boy that he came in shy, and I don't quite understand. Okay, so the children come in first. They need you to explain how you keep your kids motivated, but do they come once a week to you, and how long is the class, and how do you keep them inspired during that period of time?
So I have a weekly class, and this particular one that this boy joined has been running for a little while. So the tone had already been set of we lead with the register, and in the register, I always ask them a question, and I'm always sure to make sure that I'm interested in what they say. So sometimes it's, what did you do over the summer? Sometimes it's, would you rather live in the beach or the mountains? And then I'll ask why. And that just kind of sets a really nice tone of, we care about what you have to say and your opinions. Then we play a game, great high energy game that kind of, because I work with children, some are aged as young as 6 and some are aged as old as 18. So it kind of, in this particular group, we're primary age. So high energy is really important to get them feeling, happy and full of excitement for the day. And I foster an environment of support. So as well as that, once a child has performed, everyone applauds, no matter what. Everyone claps. And if I spot somebody not clapping, I say, audience, please. And again, with feedback, we always share positive feedback first. And then if you have a constructive criticism, you can share it, but you must share something positive first. With this particular little boy, he did not want to get involved in any game or the register. He insisted on sitting by himself in the corner. So what I do is I don't want them to feel forced, because children pick up on that. If you make them do something, they are just going to, turn to stone. So I just kept offering. I just made sure that he knew this space is available if you'd like to join it. You want to stay over there? That's okay. I miss you. You're my friend. Come join me if you want to come join me. And then he kind of starts going, maybe I'll just do one. You go, okay, yeah, just try one, see how you feel. And then, so I gave him a poem while the others were performing. I gave him a book of poems, and he'd said, I don't like poems. And I said, okay, well, maybe just have a read through and see if any of these, because these are brand new ones, and you kind of get them thinking, oh, I've never seen these before. Read through them, and I could see that he was invested, and he kept coming over to me and saying, I like this one, and I like this one. And of course, I had to give the other children my attention as well. So I say, that's brilliant, Darren. Keep having a read. I'll be with you in 1 second. And then when I come around to him, I say, are you happy to perform for us? No, shakes his head. No. So I go, how about just for me, just one-on-one with me? And he goes, okay. So I set the other children up with a task who are already aware of how the class runs. And then I just sit on his level one-to-one. And that just, again, he doesn't have to feel the fear of all of these children are watching me, but he still has that, I've performed, I've spoken out loud. And yeah, by the end of the class, telling him as well that I was proud of him, I think that was the clincher. That was the moment where because he hugged me at that point, and that was when I knew he's better now, he's comfortable here. And I think it's really scary to join a new group of kids, and we have to understand that with little people, you know, big feelings can be incredibly overwhelming for little brains. And it's important to just make it clear, make it known that you're proud of them, and that these little things that feel little to us are huge to them.
Oh, yes. Well, you mentioned something, and I'm not familiar with what you're saying as far as the register. Could you please explain that to our audience?
What that
is? It's what
now?
Oh,
roll call?
Yeah, it's like, so I say, who's here? Who's present in the class?
Gotcha.
Okay.
I was lost too on that one.
I'm sorry, that's just
know.
English slang.
I want to ask that question. Well, that's interesting too. And so you said you've taught different levels. When you're talking about that, you teach from age 6 to what's the highest grade they go to, or highest age age group you're looking at?
So they go 6 to 18-year-olds, but they're broken up into groups appropriate to their age. I personally haven't worked with anyone over the age of 16, but my class is open to over 16s. So in Lambda, the grades go up from entry level to grade 8. And then from grade 8, you can also do a diploma. But grade 8 is like the equivalent of an A level, which is, what's the American equivalent for an A level? College, like college level?
Oh, college, yeah. Okay, like university, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, with entry level, that's for children as young as 6 years old. And so you can do it they have a whole host of potential subjects you can study, but I just personally teach verse and prose, which is poetry, acting, and public speaking. Public speaking has a huge interest at the moment.
Great.
That's where you kind of don't just learn how to perform a speech, but you're given a topic, like a controversial issue maybe, and you write a speech about it, about your opinions, and then you break that up into flashcards, and you have a visual aid like a PowerPoint presentation. Actually, Lambda don't allow PowerPoint, but like a presentation of some kind. And it's as if you were at a public speaking event. That's how you learn those skills.
Okay. Well, tell me something. Is that a requirement in the school or the system that they take your class, or it's an elective?
It's an extracurricular. So it's like, I suppose, similar to debate, I suppose you guys have.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, we do too, but I've seen that debate it's kind of, when I've watched American television, it's as common in their schools as Lambda is in ours, I think.
Okay. Absolutely. Also, a question for you too. Do you have a specific poem you like? And if you do, would you read it for us if possible?
Oh my gosh, what an amazing question. I have Friend on my wall.
Yes, perfect. Mom, I figured you might ask that question, so
yeah,
I'll only read a small section. My grandma's favorite poem we had on her order of service at her funeral.
Oh, amazing.
It's called The Glory of the Garden, and it's by Rudyard Kipling. I shall read, he's a bit of a controversial poet, but I shall read, I'll read the last 4 stanzas, if that's okay, because it's a long one.
Absolutely, sounds good.
Our England is a garden, and such gardens are not made by singing, "Oh, how beautiful," and sitting in the shade, while better men than we go out and start their working lives at grubbing weeds from gravel paths with broken dinner knives. There's not a pair of legs so thin, there's not a head so thick, there's not a hand so weak and white, nor yet a heart so sick, that it can find some needful job that's crying to be done, for the glory of the garden glorifieth everyone. Then seek your job with thankfulness and work till further orders, if it's only netting strawberries or killing slugs on borders. And when your back stops aching and your hands begin to harden, you will find yourself a partner in the glory of the garden. Oh, Adam was a gardener, and God who made him sees that half a proper gardener's work is done upon his knees. So when your work is finished, you can wash your hands and pray for the glory of the garden, that it may not pass away.
Hey,
Oh,
bravo.
oh, I had to clap. We used to clap at the end, but I had to clap for that. That is one. And you said Kipling wrote that.
Yes, yeah.
And then he's written another one. Isn't it a poem he has written called If?
Yes, I love If. I have.
Oh, that's my mama's favorite. Go ahead, pull that out.
I love If too.
I have If in my
Please read
poem.
that one. That brings me.
Can you read that one for us?
I'd love to, if that's okay.
Go ahead, please. That's my mother. That was my mother's favorite.
How funny. Yes, I'll find it in here. If page
Okay.
29. This was the collection that my grandma gave me.
Okay,
okay. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to, broken, and stoop and build them up with worn out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose, and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you, except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minutes with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son.
I loved it. Oh,
you were excellent. You should be doing voiceover too. I'm like, man.
Thank you very much. I'm so honored to have this opportunity. I really didn't expect this. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that gives me such chills to have you read that. That was in my mother's celebration of life's program when she went on to be with the Lord in the year of 2014. And so I wanted to hear it again. So I'm so glad we grew up on poetry as a child, and my grandfather loved poetry. My mother would write, and she had certain poems that she loved, and there are certain ones I love too, and that one happens to be one of my favorites. And so it's so wonderful to hear in the inflections in your voice come through. It just made me, I know our audience loved it. I will love it as much as I have, and Brandon. So that was great.
Heather, you mentioned, sorry, Mom.
No, go ahead.
Heather, I think you kind of mentioned to me, and it's okay if you don't need to talk about it, that's okay too. But you mentioned like you might be working with some kind of like students in other countries kind of thing.
Yes, yeah, I work with a wonderful company. So this company called Pal Connect, they do online tutorship. They reached out to the Drama Centre asking if we had any tutors that could work with them. They had students in Dubai, Amman, Palestine and Jordan wanting to have LAMDA tuition, which obviously at the moment, what's happening in Palestine is obviously a very difficult thing to talk about. And I'm really proud to say that the CEO of the Drama Centre, Leanne, she asked me if I would take that on. And I said, yes, I'd love to do that, absolutely. And for the last year, I've been working with children in those countries, teaching them LAMDA. Wow. Some of them are nearly ready for their exam, which is so exciting. Can't wait to get them through and give them a qualification. And I have to say, working with children who you can tell this is the highlight of their whole week, you know, having somebody say, I want to hear you speak, I want to hear your voice, I want to watch you perform, and encouraging them and playing games, like, because we play games. This one's so funny. I'll turn off I'll hold up like an animal or an action, and then one person will turn around and everyone has to act out that action, because it's kind of difficult over Zoom to play interactive games.
Yeah.
And yeah, they love that. And they just like have to try and guess what was the action, what was the animal. And sometimes the kids come up with the funniest things. Like some of the older class who are 10 and 11, they have a bit more trickier options. So I give them an emotion and something to do. So they might say like eating soup sadly, and you just watch us all going but pretending to eat soup, or like building a rocket ship manically. And yeah, it's really, really fun. And where English is their second language as well, I find a lot of opportunities to teach them new words, which is really, really fun. Like one of them was working on a poem that included the word, what was it? It wasn't, it started with an F. Oh, I can't remember it now. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
That's quite all right.
It was rigid, rigid.
Rigid, okay.
And yes, it was just, they say, Miss, what does this mean? And I say, oh, it means like stiff. I go, well, what does stiff mean? I go, oh, okay. And I have to like go back through the thesaurus and yeah, find the origin word. But yeah, it's a really, really wonderful thing that I get to do. I do it twice a week on Zoom. And they're open to, you know, I know that your podcast is heard in a lot of countries. So anyone who wants online tuition, Pal Connect is the name. And
yeah, I was getting ready to write that down. And it's, can you spell that out for me to make sure I have it written correctly? Okay.
Pal, P-A-L.
Okay.
And Connect, like Connect for, C-O-N-N.
Oh, okay.
E-C-T.
Okay. And it's one word or two separate?
I think it's two words. It's two words, but I think they're connected, like capital P, capital C.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
And Heather, just so I heard that correctly, you said that you can get, you said something about tuition, did you say? Or will you repeat what that was that they're able to do?
Through Power Connect, yeah, it's online tuition. So I offer Lambda, but I think they have a whole host of tuition available.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I should have done more research.
Oh, no, it's okay.
That's okay.
We'll have you back on too, so in case you...
But Lambda's my thing with them.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a real joy. Really, really brings a bit of happiness into my life.
Oh, that's
absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think that's a beautiful thing. One that not only are you just helping people, but I think it's amazing that the professor or the person at your university said, "Hey, Heather, I think you'd be a great person to do this," because she's seen, that means that she obviously has like a lot of respect for you.
Oh yeah, I love working with her. She asked me to start in 2021 as an assistant, and I learned everything I know from her, Leanne. She's the owner of the drama centre.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I'm kind of taking away my own little slice of the drama centre and serving my area now in Chelmsford, which is so exciting, so wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely.
How long have you been teaching?
Since 2021.
Okay.
Oh, okay. New teacher in there. The reason I asked that question, because I wanted to ask, what's the biggest change you've seen in kids since you started teaching?
Wow. Okay. The biggest change. I mean, I see all the time. I say all the time. I see regularly students who begin speaking with their head down and their shoulders rounded and their voice cramped and in. And it's so quick and easy to say, spread out, open up. And it takes a few lessons. Sometimes it can take months, sometimes only weeks. But I see a huge change in their instincts, which is to go from hiding to we deserve to be here. That's another task that I do first thing with a lot of my classes is I get them stand like a star. And I actually learned this in another acting class, stole it, I guess, from an acting tutor. And I get them to say out loud, I am enough, you are enough, we are all the same person. And again, just sets that level playing field of I deserve to be here, and so does everyone else in this room.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I tell you, it is so wonderful to hear you explain that when it comes to students. And I know in the educational realm, that must be very, very, well, I know here in the United States, there are some challenges that children face in schools and teachers face with students. And it's so wonderful to hear the encouraging things that you are doing, Heather, with your students to get them to just be who they want to be, and then what they will present to the world and how they can impact their own life at different ages or stages, and then at the end just bloom like a flower. I always say, just come on out like a little flower. That is just
Exactly.
wonderful. One thing I wanted to ask you, Brandon, you just because my parents were teachers.
Okay.
Heather, my mother taught French. She
All
spoke
right.
fluent French, and my daddy was a mechanical engineering teacher. He taught mechanical drawing, and so I'm used to talking to educators, raised by educators, and so my whole thing, and our parents always instilled in us a willingness to learn. And it was always exciting for me with books, and we kind of encouraged that in Brandon as well. And so one thing I want to ask you, because I'm always dealing and thinking about teachers here in the United States, if you could change one thing about the educational system, what would it be?
I would give much more funding to the arts than we currently see.
Well, that's the same thing they're asking here in the United States,
I
because it
think,
makes a
yeah.
difference. It really does. Go ahead and finish talking about that, Ed.
Yeah, sure. I think as well, so I work as an extracurricular in Lambda, and I have technically my sister-in-law now. She's a teacher in secondary education, and my mother-in-law was also a teacher for a long time in primary education.
Oh wow.
And that is such a different ballgame, because they have a whole set of rules that they have to follow that the government sets. And in COVID, for example, when everyone had to go to online learning here in the UK, that was just, I mean, what we saw was catastrophic drops in children's interest, because children could just, move their mouse around and turn their camera off and pretend to be learning. And
Wow.
and it meant as well that teachers had to deliver lessons completely over Zoom, which, if you've not got experience in, can be really quite daunting at first, because you rely on picking up the energy of the room and being able to walk over to a student and give them your attention. So I suppose I have the benefit of being in an extracurricular. If a student is in my class, it's because they've got an interest in what I'm teaching. Whereas when you're in primary and secondary education, they have to be there. Maths,
Oh,
English, science. And if they don't have an interest, I have so much respect for the teachers who somehow still manage to foster that and create a nurturing environment. But I think that the arts create, whether it's poetry or even, debates, things like that, these are all ways that you learn how to be in social environments as well as outside of school. When you've just been lumped in with a bunch of children your age who happen to live in a similar area, that's very different to being with a group of children who have all decided we love acting and that's why we're here, because you support each other in those environments.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. That's what you just said. It's the same thing here in the United States, and they're actually, hopefully, they give more money to those programs instead of taking those programs out of the school. It just adds to the hold. I think making the child hold, a whole kid, when you bring
Absolutely.
where they might like acting or dancing or playing an instrument. So I can see, and I think that's something that we all need to talk about all over the world. And I'm so glad that you feel the same way that the teachers here, professors here, feel for their students as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, teaching is a vocation. You don't go into it for the money.
Yeah.
Teaching is something that you do because you want to share what you've learned. And you see so many teachers coming to the end of their career burnt out because they've been worked and worked and worked and not given the opportunities to rest that they deserve. And people say, oh, you get the 6 weeks off. Yeah, but what teacher actually rests during those 6 weeks?
Yeah.
They're making lesson plans, they're marking books, they're planning. And again, this isn't me because I work year round being in Lambda, but what I see in my friends and my family, yeah, you don't stop. And when you're young, you don't want to because you love it. But I've also seen the other side where you've been, taken advantage of, because if you're willing to do the work, they make you keep doing it.
Yeah.
Well, Heather, go ahead. If you willing to do the work, that's great. I didn't want to cut you off there, but I wanted to say my mother taught until she was 82 years of age.
82.
Yes. She loved it. She loved teaching her students. I mean, and she brought out the best in kids.
And she never lost the love for it. She never lost that.
I think I can remember my mother
Oh, amazing.
missing maybe two days or 3 days of her teaching career, of
Wow.
not
That's
being in the classroom.
that's
And
love. That's dedication.
but I loved her dedication,
Mm.
and the love she had for her students. And she would give plays too at the school. My mother would teach play. She would give a play when she was teaching French in high school, but she would give
Awesome.
plays in English. And so it was just so fascinating, and for us to have this conversation and for you to come on the show, it really has touched my heart. But I wanted to, Brandon, go ahead. I want to ask you a little bit about what Brandon did the other day, if you could explain, because
Yeah.
everybody sees Brandon Rush on the big screen, and then how that came about. And Brandon, you can talk to our audience as well, as Heather explains what the assignment you were given. And
Okay.
then Heather, how did you come up with the assignment, and what are you looking for in that actor, or what are you trying to teach that actor? And so tell us a little bit, you two, about that process. You talked about it in the beginning, Brandon, but I
Oh,
want
the
to bring it up
workshop.
a little bit more, Heather, how that works.
So Brandon and I were students together. We
Yes,
signed
ma'am.
up. Yeah, we signed up
Oh,
to
okay.
a screen acting class. As you said earlier on, my friend, I am on the stage most of the time, and I'm trying to transfer those skills to screen.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I was there. What brought you to the space?
Heather, so the reason I went, so a couple things, the way I made my career in the United States, and I've been very blessed. I've worked all over the United States, but two of my major markets that I work in, even though I do Atlanta too, is New York and Los Angeles. I was blessed to have two mentors. One was an actor named Peter Coyote, who was in E.T. He was a detective in E.T.
Oh wow.
And then another one is actor David Ramsey, who was he played Diggle on the show named Arrow, but he's been in a bunch of stuff. He was on Dexter too. He was a boyfriend of the
I
girl.
love Dexter. Who
Yeah.
was he in Dexter?
Okay, so he was a black boyfriend of the sister.
Oh
Mhm.
my gosh, yes, for a while.
Yeah, so who
Yes,
ended
who
up getting.
drugs. He's great.
Yeah, so they told me, Brandon, the way that he approached me like this, and so did Peter. They said the way for you to be seen and to be heard with not having an agent and all that, because I didn't have an agent, was to perform at these showcases. So we call them showcases, workshops, they're the same thing.
We say showcases. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah. So by performing at those is how I really, one, learned how to perform on screen, two, how to just book auditions. So I was able to build up a relationship with the casting director and casting associate. And I also wanted to work on my nerves. So I figured, hey, if I go to these workshops, then it's kind of like I'll become friends with them. You know what I mean? Like I will be able to, I won't be as nervous in the audition room. Plus, they would have seen me do a whole big scene with most likely calling me in for something like with only a couple lines, but they know, hey, look, I've seen Heather or I've seen Brandon perform at this workshop, and they would call me in. So I did 20 in Los Angeles. Of those 20, 19 of them called me in, and 19 have hired me on
That's
shows and
incredible.
stuff. And then in New York, it was out of the 6 that I've done, all 6 have called me in, and I've worked with 5 of them. So it works. So I wanted to come to London. I wanted to meet amazing people like yourself, and then just get on the map and here in London so that I could do TV performances, because I know the businesses I was telling you, I think a lot of the movie businesses left Los Angeles and moved to London.
You did. I had to leave quite quickly, but you did start talking about that at the end. We had a bit of a Q&A session, and you
Yeah.
talked about that. I didn't know that. I didn't know it moved over here.
It was like so it has, because I guess tax incentives. One, London has a lot of tax incentives right now, or the United Kingdom does. And the other part of it was just like seeing me going to the studio lots and seeing them empty is crazy to me. Because when I first started in 2008, there'd be like 30 something shows at all these lots. Now they're all completely empty. By lots, I mean like Paramount, Universal, and things like that. And I'm like, okay, I always listen to my faith, and I always listen to God. And I was like, hey, I need to go over to London. I need to get myself into these workshops they have. And one of my friends is a casting assistant on these. Her name's Anita Brajovic. I might have said her last name wrong, but yeah, it's a little tough.
Let's just call her Anita. She's just Anita.
Yeah, Anita. But she's doing she's doing her first ones at Run It Shouting this weekend. So she's the one that told me about them, and so I looked for basically people that I thought would be. I looked for anyone that was doing TV. I stuck away from the theater one because I'm not a theater person, but That's why I chose the TV one. And then basically what you do is you perform in front of everyone. Sorry for my long rant.
No, I so
that
enjoyed
sounds
it.
great.
Yeah, you're sent in advance a bunch of scenes. This guy, I mean, when I've done these before, I've only been sent about 5. So to be sent like, I think it was more than 20 to look, and you're asked to pick which one you think is the most suitable for you, regardless of gender, age, race. You just pick what lines connect. Learn it, practice it, go in there. When your name is called, you get up there and you perform, and there's a big monitor so that everyone can see you as if you were actually on the screen. And then the casting director gives you their notes, and then you go again with those notes, which I found fantastic. There was just one person, do you remember, Brandon? Just one person who didn't seem keen on the notes.
Oh yeah.
And the rest,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, fabulous person, really, really lovely person.
Yeah,
but yeah, she did not want to take those notes.
No, she didn't. I felt I started I started like cringing in my chair a little bit. I'm like, oh no, yeah, because it's like, and I can't remember that casting associate said it, but usually the reason they do that is so that they know you can take direction from a director.
They said that afterwards. They literally said, you have to be able to take my notes, even if you've learnt it. Because what she was saying was that she didn't want to take the note because she'd watched the show.
Yeah.
And she'd planned her audition based on what she'd seen.
Yeah.
So the casting director was saying, you have to be bendable, basically. Yep. If we say we want to see you in a different light or try it a different way, you have to be able to drop what it is you've practiced and take that on board. Because there's a reason they're asking to see that side of you, and that's they're considering you. They've seen what they want to see. Now they want to see, can you do this now? And if you say no, not even going to try.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that was definitely no, you're right. That was definitely I learned that a long time. Well, just from casting directors telling you that's why we give you adjustments. Like I've heard casting associates in those workshops say, hey, you had it right the first time. I just want to see if you can take the direction, which is, I'm like, oh, perfect. You know, that's what the point is. But yeah, this one lady this one actress wasn't taking a note too well.
I really liked my notes because my scene it was really interesting. My scene that I chose was a brother and sister, but the audience didn't know that. And the scene was written in a way to kind of hint towards perhaps there might be a romantic relationship there. Yeah. But the actor obviously knows we're meant to be siblings. So after I delivered my scene, the director said, great, here's my note. Siblings push each other's buttons. You know him better than anybody else. And I know that the audience doesn't know that, but you know that. And you know when they say something and you go, duh, like, of course. Like, I've got a little brother. I know exactly what that feels like.
Yeah.
And yeah, after that note, I started pushing him. I started like delivering the lines differently to try and be like, I'm trying to start a fight with you. I'm annoyed with you. I'm at the moment kind of struggling with, I don't know whether it's too big, like where I'm not trained specifically, but practiced for stage acting. I'm always conscious that my expressions are too much and that I have to try and reel it in a bit, you know?
Okay. As I said, as I was telling Mom and I told you, I literally thought I was watching a BBC TV show when you were out there. So you're doing great. I don't think my opinion is I don't think you need to change a single thing. I think you're doing it just right.
Now I just need an agent. Now I just need someone else to think that.
Good. So I was thinking about that. Like did I sign up for an agent one? I did do an agent one that was really good, but workshops are key. Like what I'm finding out from what some of the casting associates have told us here is the fact that with Spotlight, you can actually, they've been telling us to email them. It's okay to, yeah, the one I've done 6 since I've been here. And they said it's okay to email them because you might end up being right. Some of them told us how a person emailed them at the right time.
I misunderstood you there. I thought you meant email Spotlight asking, like, can I be on Spotlight?
Oh, no. I'm sorry. Yeah, I meant to say, like, with these workshops we've been doing, a lot of the casting associates or assistants have been saying, hey, like, look, if you think you might be right for something, email us. Because they've had people do that and they'd be right for the person and called in.
And Sharon was saying, wasn't she, that actually it was only a previous week that she'd been umming and ahhing about somebody. She got an email saying, hey, I'm available, I'm interested. And she said, yeah, send me a tape. And that was that for her, you know.
It makes her job easier. What else did I want to say about that? You said you like doing comedy too sometimes, or you
Comedy likes me.
Okay, hey, that's what I like to hear. I definitely like
Yeah, I'm like somebody who, if I try too hard, I lose it. But in
Yeah,
the moment, yeah, a quip will come. Sure, I like to think.
absolutely. One thing I wanted to say was one of the reasons I choose comedy so much is because I comedy's my thing. My mom's the funniest person I know, literally. And we always crack each other up. But one of the reasons I always bring in, if I can, I'll always either, even in a drama or serious piece, if I can find comedy in it, I will put a comedy piece in there, like within the drama scene. Because just in lifetime, I've been in situations where I found something funny, even though it was like a, tough situation. But I feel by using comedy a lot of times, I know people kind of stick towards drama, but comedy just shows those people, hey, I got that extra layer there that I'm
Yeah,
able to
yeah, I
do
agree.
that and bounce around.
Yeah.
But so that's just what I was gonna say about comedy.
Well,
I think, oh, sorry, Mama.
go Heather. Heather, go ahead. What I wanted to hear from you as far as what you were just saying. Go ahead about Brandon. You said you heard something or what he did or whatever.
Oh, and your comedy scene, yeah, it was just
Yes.
so funny. And afterwards, you were talking about, because I hadn't seen the script, so I didn't know what the lines were. And then another couple did the same scene, and I realized Brandon had ad-libbed like a lot, and I had no idea that they were ad-lib. I just thought it was all part of the script. And I said to you, I said, "Do you write?" And you said, "Yeah, in my head." And I said, "Well, do it on paper, man. Like you need to. You're funny." But yeah, it was just little things that just made like a line 10 times better. Like there was one bit where you said you could be the next Morgan Freeman, and you're talking to like a white girl, so it's like, really, can she be Morgan Freeman? And then you said, "Oh, Tom Cruise," and that little extra bit is what made me laugh. And then I found out that that wasn't even part of the script. So yeah, that was all you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for that, Heather. I've always thought Brandon had that comedic timing. He knows just what to say, just when you're not expecting it. And he thinks I'm funny. I think he's funny too. And we just laugh sometimes because one would be talking. I will be talking to Brandon, and he'll say something, and then I just giggle. I mean, I fall out laughing.
Oh,
And I just love that. I love that about you both. I can see you both have that ability, and that is a talent only God can give you. That comedic timing, I call it, and I think that's how they refer to it. Heather, is that correct?
Yeah, comedic timing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, when Brandon opened his mouth, that's what I want to ask. When Brandon spoke, and when you all were in the room, how did you love hearing his American accent versus your British accent?
Well, I think you picked the perfect scene, mate, because I came home actually saying that had to be from an American program because the lines just worked better, in my opinion. Like they suited the way that you speak. And it almost felt as though, having to do it in an English accent, it felt more difficult. It felt like they were, having to try and find the comedy, whereas that could be the Americanism or it could just be you. But it seemed like it just came so naturally. And yeah, I do think that because nobody else was American. I think there was somebody else who said that they were Canadian, but they'd grown up in an Eastern European country. I can't remember, but they had an interesting accent. It was clear, like quite a few dialects in there. Oh yes, and there was a man as well he was scary. Do you remember? He did a really scary scene.
Oh, was it the long hair? Was it the long hair guy? A little bit longer. Like the mixed guy? Does he look mixed or?
Yeah, no, the scene was it was from Call the Midwife, and it was about people who'd come over from Afghanistan. And I don't know his ethnicity personally, but he was clearly an Eastern European man or a Middle Eastern man, sorry. And his scene was really daunting. It was like he was threatening this woman. He'd come over and she didn't expect him to, and she'd built a life as a nurse.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and
he was good.
And he was threatening her. Yeah. And he was at one point he was smiling, but you were like, "You're not smiling."
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was good.
He was brilliant. So yeah, now that I think back, there were a few different accents there actually, but no, the American it worked massively well with the scene that you were doing. It really did.
Great,
well, thank you. Heather, question for you. One question. I don't want to hold you up too much longer because I know you got a day, but we've appreciated you. But
I've so enjoyed this.
Oh yeah, I've enjoyed having you. We'll have you back. We definitely will have you back. Heather, if you could go back and tell your 18-year-old self anything, what would that be?
My 18-year-old self. Let me put myself in her for a minute.
Okay.
I think and it maybe sounds pretty obvious, but I would say stop trying to change. Stop trying to be what other people want you to be. Because it was interesting, you asked me, Mama Rush, earlier on about what I was like as a child, and I loved the camera. I loved performing. And somewhere along the way, I learned that that was something that a lot of people didn't like. It was something that a lot of people made fun of me for, saying I was too much. I've always been told, you're too much, you're just a bit too much. Um, and I've now learned the mantra, I'm not too much. If I'm too much, go find less.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I tell myself now, and that's what I tell anyone who tells me I'm too much.
Absolutely.
In fact, earlier on today, this is quite funny. I love to compliment people. I love, if I see something I like about somebody, I will just say it, because why wouldn't I? And they can take it or they can leave it. And there are these, in the office building that I work in sometimes, there is this group of women who always look so beautiful. They work for a fashion agency and they all have amazing outfits. And I was walking into my office and one of my friends came in and she was giving me a bit of an odd look. And I said, "What's up?" And she said, "Did you compliment those girls today?" And I said, "No, I didn't. Why?" And she said, "Oh, as I was walking past, they were going, that woman always says, oh, I love your outfit." And they were making fun of me.
Oh, wow.
I know. And I was like, for complimenting them?
Yeah, seriously.
Wow.
Again, it was another, and I had this lovely moment of, wow, when I was 18, I would have worried about that all day. I would have felt the need to go and find them and say, like, I'm sorry, like I didn't mean to be too much, and apologize for myself.
Yeah.
And today I actually went, that's such a shame that they clearly don't have as much joy in their lives as I do.
You're absolutely
Isn't that
right.
great? That's so good. I love that. I love hearing that. Well, we do something we call a speed round questions. It's going to be real quick, so you have to, and it gives us a better feel for Heather. You've given us a great feel of who you are, what you do, what you love. But let's just do this quickly and see what your
Hit me with
thoughts
it.
are. Okay,
Hi.
coffee or tea before school?
Tea.
Tea. I figured that. Okay, all right.
I like both, but I'll have a tea.
Okay.
All righty. And you're teaching what your favorite subject to teach? And
Drama.
drama. Okay. One book every child should read.
Oh, quick fire. One book every child should. The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, if they're old enough to read it. Oh no, A Stranger in the Lifeboat by Mitch Albom. Yeah.
Okay, that is great. Chalkboard, whiteboard, or smart board?
Whiteboard.
All right. What's your go-to classroom snack? Do you give snacks to your students?
Oh no, that's not something common here in England, actually. No, I don't do that. But I allow in the register or in the roll call, I say you can have your snack during the register, and they have their food in that moment.
Yeah, my mom always used to. I'm going to stop right here for a minute. My mom used to have me go and buy boxes of cookies or chips or those little drink boxes that they have, those little box drinks, and for her students, because she knew they would be hungry and they might not have had money to buy those. So she always, when I would come to town, she would say, "Carolyn, could you just go and buy big boxes of this?" And then she would give it out to her students. And I thought that was just using her own money to do it. I thought that was so great. What's the funniest thing a student has ever said to you?
What are all those dots on your face?
Oh.
Moles and freckles, my friend. I've been blessed with a lot of them.
Okay. All right. What's your favorite school supply?
My favorite school supply? Books or plays.
Oh, okay. All right. And a word your students always hear you say?
Mate. I had some of my Palestinian students, because in my Essex accent as well, it sounds like mate, like you can't hear the T sometimes.
Yeah.
And one of them goes, "Miss Heather, why do you always call us May? What is May?" And I go, May. I went, "Oh, mate." I go over, I go, "Yes, mate." Or yeah, "What do you want, mate?" Like, that's what I say.
Yeah. All right. And we're down to the final two.
Okay.
If you weren't teaching, what job would you have?
Acting, I'd love to say.
Oh, great. And then finally, the best advice you'd give a new teacher in one sentence.
In one sentence. You are here for a reason. don't doubt that.
Love it.
Amen.
Yeah.
Oh,
there will be kids who make you doubt that. There will be kids who, and I think it's important to remember that kids are innocent. Kids don't know sometimes what they're saying could be hurtful or harmful, or the true extent of what they could be saying. And often they're just regurgitating what they've heard in telly or by a parent. And I think it can be very hard not to take things to heart sometimes. But you can't. You just can't. You have to just go, I'm here for a reason, regardless of whether or not you want to take that.
Absolutely.
Well,
Heather, you've been absolutely wonderful today. I must say that, like, me and my mom are really both great at reading people. You were the biggest sweetheart and so welcoming. When I first met you in that class, I was like, I was taken back by it, but I was just so, it touched my heart to know that here I am in a foreign country, and one of the first people I meet is the person being the nicest they could be to me and give me encouraging words in the classroom. So I just wanted to say thank you for that. And also the wonderful lessons that you have taught us here today, as we've gotten now I see why you are the person that you are, because you have a beautiful spirit and soul.
Thank you. I think the same with both of you. I think, I can't believe how much I've rambled, and there was anyone who's listening, there was no prep for this. It was
you're excellent.
About you. This was just, and you created an environment where I could just talk so openly about the things that I love and my opinions, and I'm so grateful for that. Thank you, both of you. And Brandon, I'm being serious. Let's get together. Let's do a scene. It'll be good fun.
Oh, I'd love to. Absolutely. I would absolutely love to. Just let me know and we'll get it figured out. And then you're always welcome back on the show too, as well.
All right, absolutely. Heather. And thank you so much for the time you've taken out of your schedule. What time is school over for you for today, or you have to go?
No, yeah, I'm done for today. I'm good. I mean, I'll be lesson planning, etc. But I don't have anyone waiting for me.
Well, I thank you so much, Heather, on behalf of the podcast universe out there and the Buckle Up podcast universe. We have thoroughly enjoyed you. You have been you have inspired me today as Mama Rush.
That's wonderful.
And anyone who can keep me always pushing forward I don't need anybody to push me. I can tell you that much. I'm gonna do it automatically. But works within that mindset of mine. I love it. I just love it. And you've touched me with my mother's favorite poem by reading If by Kipling. And I just want to thank you for everything you've done here today. We can't wait to have you back on the podcast, because people will come and ask questions. Where's that Heather?
I hope so.
And we want to speak. Honestly, we want her back on the show.
Yeah.
It's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Okay, Heather, you might not be able to hear my mom clap, but at the end, we always clap for everybody.
Okay. So, great job.
Bravo, excellent. Heather. Heather, you are wonderful. You're natural. You also are an actress, a phenomenal actress. Any advice I can give you or tell you how things work in America, I'm more than happy to.
Oh my God, yes, I'll definitely message you. Thank you.
Perfect. And then also, I would say keep doing those workshops at Run At It Shouting, or ones like that. That's, if it works in America, one of the reasons I came over here, I was like, hey, it's going to work in London too. So I know that those workshops are the key.
Okay. Yeah, no, thank you. I definitely will. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right.
See you at the next one.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you have a wonderful day, and I'll get this back to you. It'll probably be a couple hours, but I'll have it back to you.
Take care, both of you. I'll see you soon.
Take care now.
All righty. Bye, Heather. Have a wonderful day. Mom, she was excellent.